it's TorontoUnicorn and
R.
And we are here because we have a story that has remained untold. I did not play on DTF, as you will know if you follow my vlog channel, but she did. And I got a front row seat to a 5-person stranger orgy. And I want to tell some deets. Is that okay?
That is good because I've seen it from my point of view, which was basically looking out at all of you, looking at me. But, you know, you go in your head and I don't know what you saw. So that's what I'm interested in hearing is what happened from your point of view, because I was a bit of a fog. So
okay, and keep in mind that this is on YouTube, and
Yes.
I've been in trouble on YouTube before for talking about sex in too much detail. So any details like this are always just going to be on my OnlyFans or my whatever the fan pages that I have. I am going to give a high level overview on YouTube, okay?
Perfect.
A PG rated version. So I was not as DTF, but my friend was. I'm a voyeur, and hey, if I get a good viewer perspective, I have something to share to the audience. And so that's why I was really excited when she was literally like going to crawl into the red room, which is the orgy room. There's a little picture of that right here. And literally invited herself into this group because they invited her too, like they waved her in.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second? I have to say she's telling this story from her perspective, but my perspective is like this. I'm there watching it, and she's like, you should go in! You should go in! I'm like, give me a minute, I just got here. So I'm watching, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. She's like, you need to go in now! Anyway, I had been called in twice at this point. So the second time he called me in, I said, okay, I'll go. That's kind of more like what happened. You forgot the little devil on the shoulder
grabbed
part.
a handful of condoms and lube and
Yes,
presented them to you.
with everybody watching from behind you.
Oh
I got
God.
a handful of condoms and lube, and they're all like, oh, hello. There's a lot of towels that started to move at that point.
Yeah.
So I did crawl in at that point, and then you said...
So I asked if I could crawl in the corner and like not participate. They said, yeah. So I kind of sat in the corner and just watched the awkward social interactions start. So I had it in me so badly to want to interrupt and help facilitate the social interaction because I've been here before. It's not easy to break the touch barrier. It's not easy to just start sucking someone's D. You've got to be like, hey, like, hi, I'm so-and-so, you know? And so part of me wanted to be like, maybe you should do, like...
Okay, it might have been helpful because there was a moment of social awkwardness. You crawl in, you see their faces light up. By the way, it was 3 boys and 1 girl.
Okay. 3 boys and 1
One
girl.
of the boys and the girl were a couple, and then there were 2 other boys. Okay.
And you were the only white girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they were very happy to have me, but like, yeah, obviously I'm not going to just jump in there and start, you know, doing all the stuff. So there was that moment of, hi, my name is, oh, nice to meet you. How do you do? Oh, this is your, okay. And you're, oh, I'm bad with names. You know, that 5-minute interaction. So that's
everyone's boobs are out. Everyone's dicks are out. We all know that this is just the formality. And I'm sitting like internally giggling because I'm like, hurry up, like do it, catch a boob, like go, right?
Okay, no, I did tell them. Did you see that part where I told them that my disclaimer?
Yes, I watched it all.
Okay, so go ahead.
So she announced that she doesn't go down on women.
Right, I don't play generally with women on the inside.
And I'll be honest, normally, like as a girl, when I hear that, I'm like, fuck, because I'm like, well, that's what we're looking for. But this girl like went down on you, and
she did ask if I was willing to receive. I'm like, oh yeah, go to town.
So and what do you need more than that, right? So you were going. So anyways, so they make friendly, and then the girl starts playing with you, and like the boobs are touching and everything, and she's got knockers. So everybody's always excited to get to play with the knockers. And I remember you like kind of lay down, and she like went down on you, and then there was a guy who came and put his D in your mouth. It was like hard to get the angle. I remember that watching that part. And then she was having sex from behind with her husband.
Yes, and I was watching that, and that was really hot. Yeah. Very hot. And I remember saying to him after, I said, I want some of that. Me want some of that, or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah?
And he gave it to you.
So that's what I didn't see.
So the sexual details, as I've mentioned before, are unfortunately just too hot for YouTube. So we're going to have to remember where we are and keep the story at a lighter pace. So I saw, you know, a few different positions going in and out, you know, lots of like, sometimes people left to go take a break, get a drink, and then there was only 4 people left, things like that. But what I definitely noticed was that when my friend R was getting her fill of D. It was great D, was it not?
It was great D. It was very, yeah, I have to be careful too. So it was very perfectly aligned in the right way, at the right pace, at the right
thrust,
temperature. Yes, whatever she just did. Yeah, that thing. It was very good D. And so
had rhythm.
He did. He totally did. So whatever I asked for, I got from him.
Oh,
so
she was like, pull my hair. And I was like, oh, good for you, Mika. I was like, I'm the good
She had my cheerleading section.
Good for you.
Asking for what you want.
Yes.
Good girl. But meanwhile, from my point of view, I'm looking out at everybody else who's watching us. There were a lot of people, and some familiar faces, some unfamiliar faces, a lot of eager faces.
And there was annoying people who kept asking it to join, and even though you would say no, they would keep asking. And eventually I turned out and was like, enough. Like, you cannot ask more than once at a sex club for consent. It is against consent policy to do that. So it was really annoying. And then you don't want to reward that behavior with sex anyways, because then they're not going to learn a lesson about what etiquette is and appropriate consent lines are. Yeah. So we didn't, I don't think you ever hooked her up with him, but I saw my friend get nailed, and I mean nailed, with the most perfect D, the perfect rhythm, the perfect depth, the most perfect girth, all of it. And I saw it on her face, and it was great as a friend to be able to sit there and see my friend get not only a good new, 5-person orgy experience, but a solid one.
A solid fill. Solid fill.
You got
Ironically,
spoiled.
Did you know one of the other boys who was there, I think it's the one whose D ended up awkwardly at the awkward angle.
Okay.
He apparently has been with me before.
I
He
know.
had me at the DTF where I was blindfolded. So he knew that he's been with me before, but I didn't know. And I found that out. And
he spoke to me early in the evening.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. So when he reminded me of that and I had his D with me, I'm like, oh yeah, it is familiar. And then I was hearing how he was reacting to it. I'm like, oh yes, now I remember.
By the way, that gentleman, he had a solid dick and he knew how to use it. So if you ever see him again, blindfold, he's a good option.
That's right.
But yeah, so I did see, lots of, awesome intermixing, a good group experience. I think that she keeps flirting around, playing with women in different ways. And I think that if anything, since you identify as straight, it's good that some girls and guys can feel comfortable still playing around with barriers and have it not necessarily mean that you're changing who you are. You're just open-minded, right?
I am just exploring all the options. Labeling is so restrictive.
Yeah.
It can be misinterpreted. It can be, why not just be a liberal sexual being and explore whatever you can? And if you figure out that you are a something, then you can label it, I guess. Yeah. I'm not there yet, so.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But I liked seeing that you didn't run away from women.
No.
It was just like you have limits, you have what you enjoy, but women what you don't.
Yeah.
And you play within those lines and have a good time. So
ironically, later in the DTF, after you had left for the evening, I ended up in a second orgy.
Yeah, so this is all the part that I missed, unfortunately.
So I'm just going to sum it up. But in a nutshell, this time there was one boy and 1, 2, 3 girls and me.
Wowza.
Yeah, it was something. It was different for me. Again, I respected my own limits, but I went a little farther than I thought I would have because, there were people there who might have converted me.
I'm telling you, and even our other friend S, she's straight, and she's told me that there's a certain girl that she might make her gay, and I'm telling you, there's a certain girl that made me bi. I was straight until I wasn't, until suddenly I was like, oh my god, that girl is so glamorous, and like, I want to see her in that outfit, and then I was like, and it started with the L Word, the TV show. There was a girl, Shane, on the L Word, and that was the first time I got a tingle in my pussy for a woman, and that was a few years ago. And I remember thinking that she has the ability to convert women into being gay.
Well, you know what? There's got to be someone. I don't know if I'd be converted, but it might push my boundaries a little more. Why not?
Far away now. I'm just saying. You're already in the room with pussy. Like, you might as well just touch it.
Oh, maybe I will. I can touch the outside of it.
Just touch
inside.
it.
Do you know why I don't touch it? You want to know why I don't touch it? I'll tell you why.
And this is the commercial break.
because I feel like a 14-year-old boy who is just newly excited and has a new toy and doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So you'd think I'd know better, but...
Well, I do have sex dolls that you could practice with.
Yeah, it's not the same. They don't react.
I could just make sounds from across the room.
I just need more practice on DTF nights.
Well, all right. Well, you know what? Tonight is a very big night at the club. We're going to Sibian night, which is a night for these big sex machines that women and men can sit on and get the vibration of their lives and the orgasms of their lives right in front of people. So we're going to be doing that, but we're going to do a whole separate video to introduce that. If you want to watch the vlog of our awesome DTF night, this is a link here. It's also in the description of the video. Make sure you subscribe to both Toronto Unicorn Vlogs and Toronto Unicorn's main channel, because I've got two. If you want to keep up with all my crazy shenanigans, you're going to have to subscribe to both. So until next time, thanks everybody.